everyone. Welcome to another Chit Chat with Mandi and Caryl. I'm Mandi, the board gaming pinup girl.
And I'm Caryl, also known as Caryl Has No Tan.
So today we are going to take a look at the game Haunt the House. Ooh. So before we get into that whole ghostly goodness, if there's a part of the video you're just like, I want to get right to that bit, then check out the timestamps below. So I think we're ready to check out some gameplay for Haunt the House. We are ghosts competing to frighten ghost hunters from the rooms of our haunted house. Each player has their own deck of scares, and each ghost hunter is only frightened out of the house by a specific scare combination. Once one player scares out their fourth ghost hunter, the game ends and the highest score wins. To set up the game, you want to start by shuffling the room tiles face down and creating a draw pile to the side of the play area, and then lay out 4 rooms face up, well, in a 4-player game. Shuffle the ghost hunter's deck face down and create a draw deck out of the way, and then draw 1 ghost hunter for each room and place it face up in each room's doorway. You want to make a little stockpile of skull tokens, keep those close by. Each player then chooses a player color and then takes the scare deck and ghost marker in that color. Each player should shuffle their scare deck and draw a starting hand of 3 scares. Remember, these are hidden from the other players. Shuffle the trophy tiles face down. Each player takes 1 red and 1 blue trophy tile, but keep them a secret. The player who can make the scariest ghost sound is the one that goes first. On your turn, you can take the following: either 2 actions or yell boo. There are 3 types of actions that you can take on your take 2 actions turn. You can draw 3 scares. That's if you start your turn with 1 or 0 scares in your hand. You can use your first action to draw scares from your deck until you have 3. Or you can play a face down scare. So place any 1 scare from your hand face down to a room. Your scare does not have to match the scare shown on the ghost hunter in that room. Or you can play a face up scare. Play any 1 scare from your hand face up to a room, adding it to any other face up scares that may have been played there earlier. The scare must be one that is actually needed to frighten the room's ghost hunter. When you play a face up scare, you may immediately trigger the power of that room. So if you think that face up scares in a room and face down scares on a room and scares in your hand are all enough to scare a ghost hunter, well, you can yell boo. We resolve a boo in the following steps. If there are any face down scares, flip them over in place to reveal them. Any revealed scares that was a bluff, meaning that the ghost hunter is not frightened by that scare type, is immediately discarded into that owner's discard pile. If any of the revealed scares were correct, meaning that it did match ghost hunter's scare type, each player who played at least 1 correct scare immediately gets a reward, a skull from the supply. If you're playing with the phantom deck, instead of taking a skull from the supply, a player can decide to put their token on the phantom deck, and once the El Boo phase has been resolved, they can take 2 phantoms, choosing 1, and putting the other at the bottom of the deck. Phantoms are action cards that grant you special benefits. Each phantom card tells you what it will do when played. It does not cost any actions to play them. They do not count towards your hand limit, and they may not be played on a boo turn. If between the placed face-up scares and the revealed face-down correct scares, there are enough scares to frighten out the ghost hunter, you collect Ghost Hunter card and keep it visible on the table in front of you. All scares played to the room are returned to their owner's discard piles. Discard the room to the room discard pile and add a new room from the stack in its place. Then add a fresh Ghost Hunter from the deck to the new room's doorway. If you did not have enough to scare the Ghost Hunter, you made a bad boo, and any revealed correct scares are discarded to their owner's discard piles. Scares that were played face up stay in place, and your turn is unfortunately over. At the end of your turn, if you took actions or made a bad boo, you may now discard any number of scares you wish from your hand into your own discard pile, and then draw scares from your deck until you have 3 scares in hand. If you successfully frightened out a ghost hunter, you may not discard or draw cards. Your turn is over. End of the game is triggered when one player frightens out their 4th ghost hunter. Each player scores their skull tokens, any skulls on their ghost hunters, plus the value of their gear collections. Each piece of gear in your collection is worth a point equal to the number of that gear type you've collected. So now we're ready to give a review of Haunt the House. What'd you think?
So I really like how thematic this game is. I love that you're playing as a ghost and you're trying to scare away these ghost hunters. So it's a very accessible theme. It's not like, oh, it's, Ghostbusters again, or like, I like being the ghost. I like doing ghostly things.
Ghostly things.
Yes.
Okay, sure. I don't know what that really means, but
doing deeds that are ghostly.
Right. I'm going to say scaring people, but we'll go with that because that seems to be something regular in this game. Scaring people.
Like, it's a kid's game, first and foremost. It's targeted toward kids, but the best thing about it is that adults can play it. That's probably the biggest... Well, the theme and the fact that an adult can play this is the biggest draw for it for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it, I think, from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, this is a game exactly what you said. It's definitely geared towards kids. I think the age on it is 8+, if I'm not mistaken, which I think is pretty accurate, actually. But it's a game definitely you can play with adults. It's the type of game where, for me, I'm not sure as a gamer if I would be one to have this in my collection.
Mm-hmm.
This is one where if somebody had it, we wanted to play it, even as a filler in between other games, I would absolutely be down to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if it's one that I personally would have for me. I don't have children.
Mm-hmm. Neither do I. We have fur babies is what we have.
We have fur babies. So I would be looking at it from the point of view as someone who has children, someone maybe who likes a lighter game, because it does have the option for super light, and then when you introduce the phantoms, it does give it a little extra kick. So definitely if you are in that realm of like level of game, you will definitely want to buy it. Someone like me, this would be like a lunchtime game.
For sure.
Something on that effect. So yeah, definitely something I could play with coworkers. Something that is light fun, but definitely it falls into that category of like, if I'm playing a heavy game, I would kind of throw that in the mix and then go back to playing a heavier game.
See, what I meant by it being like a kids and adult game isn't necessarily like that all adults will enjoy it, but more so that if I had kids over or I had something that was like, a mixed age group and I brought this game, I wouldn't have a horrible time. Like, I would actually enjoy playing the game and still have other people who are younger than me enjoy the game as much as me, maybe even more. Like, it's not like I bring up Monopoly or Candyland and it's like, well, off to the gumdrop forest. I don't even know. Like, I've never played Candyland, but I don't want to.
No, well,
I don't want that feeling,
So this is, but no, I totally agree. I see what you're saying. So for me, I wasn't saying that I dislike it. Not at all. I think the game is actually really cute and it's really fun. I really like the art, and I like the fact that the art is inclusive, representative. So you see, women, you see men, you see older, people who are a bit older, you see people of different colors. I love that. And then to me, that's really important. But I know Helaina and Josh are really, they're really good about making sure that their games are inclusive. So to me, that is awesome. That's like number one, amazing. I love that. The game itself is mechanically a good game. It's not broken. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fun. I mean, I like the theme. I like Halloween. Halloween's my favorite holiday ever. So anything with ghostly things in it, I'm going to love. And it kind of reminded me at first of Ghostel. I don't know if you played. So it's not the exact same game because Ghostel has dice, but it's the same idea of like you're trying to scare the guests. And you're trying to deliver, basically whatever icons are shown, you're trying to make sure that you have those things to properly scare the guest. And Ghostel, you're using dice numbers to do that. So it's a similar type concept. But in this, I think Haunt the House has a bit more with the set collection.
Yes, absolutely. Like just hearing it, I haven't played Ghostel, but it just sounds like Haunt the House is more intentional and less to dice rolling, because you know exactly what you're putting down, and you have that small bluffing element where I could just put down something that has nothing to do with this ghost hunter and then be like, so I'm gonna put this here. Who knows what it is?
So it does have that bluffing element versus
Yes.
Ghost Tell, which doesn't have that. I mean, I think they do have a touch of set collection in Ghost Tell with their cards that they have. But yes, you're right. You have more intent with Haunt the House, so you have a little bit more control of how it plays out.
Exactly.
Well, for you anyway. And I'm not usually into bluffing type games, but I did like the fact that they made it fun. You know, where you can have open information and you can have hidden information, and then you have to deduce, well, did someone put something false there? And it really that comes down to how well you know who you're playing with, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I also really like how they reward you for open information too. Like you get to use that location's ability because you put something open. So it's a really nice balance that they have there. So I really liked it for that.
Yeah. So I definitely think, for me, I thought the game was good, and I definitely think there is a specific audience for this game. But anybody can play it. It is on the lighter end of the stream, but like I said, if you have children, I think this is a great game to play with them. Heck, I enjoyed it. Let's just get that clear. I enjoyed it. I think we had fun playing it. I like the theme. I like the art. You know, if you're looking for the gallerist here, this is not going to give that to you. I'm just saying, because some people have high expectations.
Yeah.
Take it for what it is. So
exactly.
Overall, I enjoyed the game.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one too. It's going to be something that you can use for like a really easy entryway for something bluffing or set collection, and still have that theme to appeal, yet still also work for kids.
Exactly. So there you go. So there you have it. That's our review for Haunt the House, and we'll see you next time. Bye.